Beach Town Council, and that is Forrest Critser. Forrest, welcome back for your second appearance on our show.
Thank you so much for having me back. I'm looking forward to it.
We appreciate you coming down. And so how has the campaign been going?
It's doing all right. It's getting up there, and you know, the first time I ran in
1881.
Yeah, 2016.
You were in the Vietnam War, but you weren't in the Civil War.
Well, I am 72. No, in 2016, I was unknown. I wasn't on very many committees, and my name wasn't out there except it was affiliated with First Baptist Church, or Beach Baptist as we know it today. And so I floated along. It felt like I was trying, but I came in fourth. And this year, as soon as I came out in December with your help on the radio, people found out who I was. I started getting emails and phone calls, and, you know, I really appreciate that. And I'll take any email and phone call, and I'll return them as promptly as I can, because I like the voters to know where I'm at and how I stand, and it encourages me to know that people really are interested. And I think they're more interested now than they were in 2016.
Yeah. What are some of the issues when they call you and email you? What are they asking you about?
The main issues is how are we going to move people on this island? The traffic, you know, and what are we going to do with the influx of people because of our uplift and facelift that we're having? You know, that seems to be the main issue right now. And of course, we are also getting water quality calls about, are you keeping things clean, and what is the government doing? Are you going to be active in that? And those type of questions. Some are just curious about me, I hope, and others are just, you know, they're really interested in issues.
Now, when you talk about the facelift and the uplift of the beach, what is your feeling about the branding or rebranding of the beach?
Well, I was so glad when I was in the town council meeting the first part of this month that they said that they're going to stay with Fort Myers Beach. Mm-hmm. And I was so glad to hear that. You know, there's a lot of the businesses and paperwork and the post office and with zip codes, it would have to change and all that. And so now they're going to go with that, and I think they're going to coin the phrase the way it looked like, FMB. Mm-hmm. And we're going to put a design on the F to show our island. And there's been several things that's come up about that to use. And I think they're keying in on one specific thing, I believe.
So you feel like it's a necessary thing to do the branding?
Oh, I think we need to brand. Anytime you can brand and draw attention to your community when we're looking for tourism is a great thing. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be attractive. Some of the town's businesses are already showing their colors. We've seen some people painting. I don't know if they're trying to get ahead of the ordinance or what, but it does look good. I mean, and I'm so excited about Times Square and the new floor method they're going to have here.
One of the things that came up at the last town council meeting, I saw you were sitting in the audience too. You
yes,
were
sir.
At that one.
The marathon meeting.
First of all, what do you think about how the town council meetings are run?
The town council meetings they're trying to cram a lot in these last couple of months because they've been working on issues all along, and they're trying to get them in. This town council, for the most part, has worked well together. Right. I mean, they've been able to agree to disagree, and after they disagree and they talk about issues, especially, you know, people go to hear the town council. It's a great thing to go to hear that planners meeting, because that's even better. You mean the LPA meeting, or do you mean the planning meeting for the town council? That's even longer. Sometimes it seems like they dig deeper into the issues, but I don't want to get off on that. Yeah, so you were sitting at the council meeting there, and I forgot the question now. Shoot. It'll come back to you. Anyway, so one of the questions I wanted to ask you about, if you were on the council now, would you vote for the dune walkover? That's been a huge controversy, and it's coming up again at the Tuesday meeting after the President's Day vacation day. You know, at that planner meeting when that came up and them ladies there was holding up the bird pictures and everything, that's the heart of our island. is
Oh, I
our
didn't see
wildlife.
that. They were holding up bird pictures.
They had bird
Okay.
pictures, and I heard, I didn't see it because I was close to the front row, but someone, I think, had a sign they were holding up, save our beach or something throughout, showing it to the council members, and I'm just, my issue is that I cannot see a walkover, I'm sorry, on that reservoir and the number I heard was 9 people. And they want to make it a private boardwalk. Now, when those people bought that place, that was there. They knew what they bought into.
Not all of it, but yeah.
Yeah, but they knew what they bought
there.
into. And we pride ourselves in our wildlife on this beach. And
So you're convinced there's wildlife there. Well, they say there
I've
isn't.
seen it.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you go back to that. It's been
It's there.
documented that it's there.
I'm just saying what they're saying is there aren't any birds there.
People
There's
say whatever.
always 2 issues to every
Right.
thing.
One
And-
story.
yeah.
2 sides, you mean?
But
or something like
2
that.
sides.
Two
I'm sorry.
sides to
Right.
one issue. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you would vote no.
I would vote no as it is today.
So you know that if this doesn't pass on Tuesday, that those guys are going to continue with lawsuits.
They have that option.
And so, I mean, that's more taxpayer money that's going to have to be spent on defending it. And it sounds like from what they say that they have all the documentation that it's their property and they can do this.
Nobody just claims that it's not their property.
Right.
But there is a ordinance in town that protects our wildlife and our walkover and the dunes.
There's an ordinance that protects the dunes.
Sure.
Okay. So where do you think it's going to go?
I think they're going to vote no on it.
Okay. And
I
then
really do.
And then what happens after that?
And that's up to the party that's trying to get it done.
Gotcha.
No.
Next question.
No, keep going.
What do you think about the fact that this construction is going on right now behind us during the busiest time of the year and that the town council was not even notified by Lee County?
Typical bureaucracy.
Yeah.
The county, I just can't. They have done so much on this beach. It seems adversity to what we're trying to create.
Right.
A happy, warm feeling for tourists to come, and in the middle of the season, they tear our walk up so people can't even walk out on the beach. They changed the trolley stop. I'm sure they have the FDOT has a reason for that. But
I found out what it was.
I haven't heard it yet.
I did. And what you're talking about is stopping on this side where it stops traffic.
Correct.
Compared to stopping over by the lighthouse where it wasn't stopping traffic.
Correct.
They said because on this side there were average 31 people. On the other side it averaged 49. That's what the answer was.
That's not a good enough answer. What are they talking about? The traffic, they keep backing up.
Right.
When they stop behind it. That's our sole goal on this beach with our tourism and our traffic is to move that traffic. I talked to a lady yesterday when I was out, and she says, can you believe they're holding the people and they're not letting them walk across this crosswalk that they proclaim? I says, that's correct, ma'am. You don't understand. We've got to move traffic and we can move people at the same time. Look at the other cities, how they hold people back at these crosswalks.
Let it build up until there's enough people.
I think the best thing that I've heard that this beach is going to do is our FDOT's doing is putting that light and that walk button light on the crosswalk here on Main right there. That's going to be great. And that's already been approved.
Right. Eventually there's going to be 3 lights. The one you
Correct.
have now, another one we're closer to TPI is going to
Crescent. Right.
And then one over here in Old San Carlos.
Right. That's the one I'm
right.
talking about, the old
Right.
St. Carlos. Because I have, I drive this beach a lot.
Yeah.
And this stuff at night is just rough.
That was you just led right into the next question. So driving at night or walking at night and the whole light issue here on Estero, what is your feeling on that? I mean,
Well, I'm not for spending millions and millions of dollars to have put to put those poles in and another set of lights. There has to be in our technology a lighting system that people and turtles can coexist.
right.
Okay, there's got to be a happening. There's other beaches. I heard that I think it was Fort Lauderdale that has a computer system on their lighting where they can control certain times of the day, night, whenever the lights are burning and then tone them down and then bring them back up. Some system like that. A light system for turtle season and a light season for people season is people season year round.
Right.
We have to protect our environment. I've already said that, in the beginning. We have to protect our beaches and our assets.
And the people that are walking with the
Exactly.
assets on
Yes,
the beach.
yes.
Yeah.
Did you go to the last town council meeting where it appeared like the owner of Sunset Beach and the town attorney, maybe this was the LPA meeting, were really going at it, and it seemed like he was upset that they were coming after him for code violations about the parking lot and about the dumpster or the compactor, and it was just one thing after another, and it just seemed like they were at odds on every single thing going on. What is your view on how the town handles code violations?
First of all, I wasn't at that meeting. That must have been the LPA.
Yes,
okay.
it was.
I wish I'd been there to hear that. But I have already went into paper about codes. Laws or codes are the same thing. And we have to abide by them. But I kind of put it in the newspaper, and when I wrote for an answer for the Observer or Sandpaper, I don't remember which one it was now. I'm getting them all sorts of sizes. But as far as codes is concerned, when we go down, when I'm going down 75, hope the cops aren't listening. When I'm going down, 85 or 87 miles an hour, and I see a cop pull out behind me, I shun and I put the brakes on. I'm reminded. Now, I'm talking on my phone. That's a different story. But when I'm just speeding and it's wrong, I expect to get a ticket, and I'm happy when I don't, and I feel better about it. We have rules and rules and rules and more rules on this beach. And when they're introduced for a reason. They're not just there to be there, okay? So we have to streamline those. I'm running on government light. And government light is not beating especially our business owners over the head every little thing. I mean, I'm sorry, but I've heard about A-frame signs out here on here. It says, well, that's a code violation. Well, it's temporary. It's not a full-fledged break out the rules type of thing. And that's what I'm saying. Some of this stuff is just ridiculous.
Overkill. Yeah.
It's just overkill. And we've got to get back to where we can agree to disagree and then go on. But I'm not going to go into how many code violations. As you know, I'm from Beach Baptist Church.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about Beach Baptist Church. Your son.
I'm really helping you a lot out today, aren't I?
Providing a lot of info.
Your son came before the town council with $90,000 in code violations back years and years, I'm guessing, because every day they just keep adding and adding and adding up. And he had to explain to them in a calm manner, he's very calm, about how the staff wasn't helpful, and then the staff turned over and over and over. Well, they eventually knocked it from 90,000 to 900, even though one of the council members still wanted to hit him with a $10,000 fine, which totally baffled me. So, I mean, how do you – I know you've seen it firsthand. How do you prevent that from happening? Or is it just, hey, you're violating the code. The code is the code, and you either get in line or you pay the fine.
Okay, some of those code violations were before we ever got here. Okay, and we've been here 15 years. And that building was, we had to prove to the town for one incident, one of them was with our blueprints. They said that we could not have our retreat center back there with people sleeping in it. That it was not up to code. Okay, well, we do not want anything to not be at the code. We want protection. We want our fire system to be right. We want all that because we have guests coming from New York, from all the way down the line, from Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, that bring Christian groups down here for retreats. So we want them to be safe. That's the first, not most on our hearts. Now, as far as those violations are concerned, we have tried to work with the town, and we knew we were in violations. But first of all, we have a fire commission that told us what we had to do. Well, then Bonita Springs gets involved in it, which doesn't even know us as far as our system goes or what the town has agreed us to. So I had to go back into the archives, pull out the blueprints of the original building of the of the building and show them where the beds count was on that format, and they stamped it and approved it. So after they saw that, they accepted it. It's what we had.
So I didn't mean for you to get into the
Okay.
weeds like that. I guess my point is, if they know you're working on it, why continue to allow the
Well,
And I think the thing is, you now know how difficult that process was for you guys, let alone a single homeowner who, I mean, there are people, I'm sure, who egregiously break the rules, but I think most people, it's inadvertent, they don't know, blah, blah, blah. So, you know.
Let's get out of commercial, get on the average person then on the street that's doing something. They may not know it's not a code violation. They may not know that they can't change their railings going down steps or something, that it has to be smaller, has to be the size of this ball to push through it in order to pass. And there is a code for that. Now, if they're doing it and it's not, and because the code is designed to make it safe for people. Right. It's all about safety, okay, in that. So if they have done it, they do not get a code violation, but they get a summons, a warning to make it right, to come down to town hall, to apply for the proper permitting, and to get it done correct. They're not automatically hit with a fine or automatically go towards a magistrate.
I don't know if I believe that. There have been some people even on the council were saying that when there's a truck parked in the driveway that comes to cut the lawn or something, somebody sneaking up behind the truck and putting a violation on it. It gets silly after a while with all, you make it almost makes it seem like sometimes like they need the money for the budget or something. And then somebody said that. What was your son who said that? It makes it seem that way. But anyway, so hopefully all of the news that comes up about the people feeling intimidated by the codes will change things when the new council gets in there. But I guess we'll see about that. What is your opinion on changing the election to 4 years? Again, I know I'm stuck on this, and I don't think that people should be given more time to be in government. What you got is what you got. There was a reason back in the day when you guys incorporated that they made it 3 years. And, that to me, that's like going back and changing the Constitution. I know that's a little drastic, but 3 years.
You just won't let this go.
No, 3 years seems fine to me, because when they change it this time, the first 2 people or 3 people that get elected are going to be 4 years and 8 months. And I just think that 3 years is enough.
Yeah. When I first came on in December, I gave you my opinion of that. And since then, my direction has changed, because I've been researching and talking to the people out and what they think about it. And first of all, the terms, the terms need to stay around 3 years.
Before you get to that,
okay,
what did the people say to you?
The people are saying that 4 years is too long.
Yeah.
They're also saying that 2 years is too short.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Because if it's just, we need to stay with at least a 3-year format, because when somebody runs for election and they're promising people this and that, the first year they're trying to fulfill their promises. Yeah. The second year they're feeling their way and getting their feet down and ready to go, and by the third year they're starting for re-election in. So they don't really get to govern. They don't give them time to govern.
Oh, that's poppycock. I mean,
no, it's not.
3 years is plenty. 3 years is plenty. But yeah, I mean, that's just so you think that the people want to keep it at 3 years.
Yeah, I think they do.
What do you think is going to happen? How do you think the vote's going to go?
I think that they're going to, if they read the paper and look at how the town council brought forth and town manager their feelings on it, because they showed the layout and how to do it. I think that we're going to go with the November election probably.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It makes sense,
okay with
Gene,
that's okay with me.
But we got a lot of people that are not going to be here at that time that are here in March.
They can vote by mail, right?
They can vote by absentee.
Right.
Yeah.
So they know what's going on. They can vote by mail.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
So how do you think the 3 years is going to go?
I think that we're going to stay with the 3 years.
Okay. Yes. Well, the council, a good number of the council members are advocating for more.
Yeah.
Because they feel, and I get it, they feel like you need a little bit more time to get settled and all that. But
okay.
It is what it is. So you have a question, dear?
No,
You don't have any
I just don't.
questions?
I've been asking questions all along.
All right. So why should people vote for Forrest Critser?
You know, I have been on this island for 15 years. I have been actively involved behind the scenes with code enforcement and the workings of my people that are in our church. I hear their concerns and the problems that they've ran into, and I feel like I've got a direction which we can go and bring the people and the government together, in which that it will operate smoothly. And you know, the county, pardon me, the county has graciously gave us a gift with Bay Oaks, you know, and they don't want it back. I wonder why, but we've got Bay Oaks. It can be a highlight on our island if we can get the proper interest to highlight, to show our neighbors where it's at. Not our neighbors, but our guests where it's at, the pool and what have you. It would be used more effectively, and it's a great piece of property back there, and it's a great thing that we can have for also the residents. So I'm all for that part of it, and I hope people realize that, because that's one of our issues is Bay Oaks. I'm for downtown beautification. I've always been in business. I was in business for 30 years. I ran my own company in Kentucky. Now, we have to have a pleasing and place for people to go. I hate seeing this back here going on now with the racket and the noise and guests coming down and having to go through not only do we have this going on, but we got the road project going on. We got enough going on without adding more. We need more communication with our county government so that we can intertwine in the projects and kind of help them and show them what's going on here.
Do you think the town needs a public information officer?
Yes.
You do? Why?
I do.
Why?
I do. We need to get our message out to the public. We need someone who is professional in communicating with people, in brochuring with people, that can work along with our chamber, which, by the way, does a great job of getting the word out. What's it, Jackie?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, she does a marvelous job trying to promote, and sometimes she butts heads with town council. They don't see things eye to eye, but she has first and foremost on her heart and mind is what is best for Fort Myers Beach.
So, but what is going to differentiate you from the other?
That's my next
Go
question.
ahead and
Look
ask
at you,
it then.
read my mind. Go ahead.
What differentiates me is that I am a people person. I am whether you believe it or not, a listener. And when I'm knocking on doors, I'm not talking, but I'm listening.
Yeah.
You know, and then when my chance comes to spout off, I'm ready, because I've had enough practice in that. But my focus is on love of our community and unity and unifying, not being controversial. Controversy is going to come up. I told you last time, when 2 or 3 are gathered together, there's confusion. But that confusion can be mapped out and talked about. We've seen our council. We've seen the council before this that they had controversy, but they finally brought themselves together and united and had a unanimous vote on one of the biggest controversies they had on the beach.
And yeah, which one was that? Which one are you referring to? Because it continues.
It's 3 initials, but I get them backwards sometimes.
So when you go into the voting booth in a little bit more than a month, you're going to vote for yourself. I would hope you're going to vote for yourself.
Yep.
Who are the other 2 people you're going to vote for?
I'm worried about myself. No, wait a minute. I got your answer. I know you're going to ask me that, because I've been watching your other shows, so I'm kind of lucky on that fact.
You and 8 other people. So go ahead.
I really like Bill Beach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's very environmentalist. I've been on the council of Crab with him since 2016. Right after my failure bid, I got on Crab. I got plugged in. He is really conscious about the veterans, and I've been fighting for a veterans memorial.
Mm-hmm.
He's for that. I am for that. Bruce is a good friend of mine. We had a nice campaign together. I still think he got in because of my name. practice.
Oh, well, explain what you're talking about.
Bruce Butcher.
Right.
My name-
2016. Is
Yeah,
what
in
you're talking about.
2016. And we joke about it when we see each other. I said, Butch, I said, if you hadn't run, I'd have been the top vote getter probably, but you're welcome. I helped you get over. So,
Because you think people on the beach vote alphabetically.
there is people throughout history that goes to the polls and want to vote and don't know the issues or who they're even voting for.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even know who the incumbent is sometimes. And he's on the top button.
I'm more worried about, I don't think that that's going to be an issue down here. I'm
No.
more worried about the referendum, that they're going to get hoodwinked by that, because there's been no education on that other than, a couple of stories. Yeah, I harp on it. And some stories in the paper, but
right.
not a ton of it. That's a major change, but I don't mean to get caught up on that. So
Thank you.
what else you said? So you're going to vote for Bruce and you're going to vote for Bill Beach.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say I'd vote. You asked me who I liked.
No, I asked you who you're going to vote for.
Well, he's not telling you that.
Well,
He's
you don't
telling you
have
who he
to tell
likes.
me
That's my privilege in the voting. But
that's right.
But Dan, Dan ran in 20, what was that, 18, and he didn't make it his first time either. He's a young man on the island. I think that Dan still has a few dues to pay.
Oh.
He's not, if you notice the council, the average age of the council, and I don't know their ages, but it's in years, it's 60 or so.
Well,
Dan's a young man.
So you think you should be 60 or older to be on the council?
No, I don't think you should be 60 or older, but I think that you have to live on this beach and understand it, what's going on. We've got another man in this that is very versed in the government.
Yeah.
From Indiana.
Jim Adderley.
Yeah, Jim. And he is very intellectual and talking on the radio. And people would say, well, he worked for Pence, and I said, well, okay. But he hasn't been in the small town arena. I know on talk radio when he talked about the government and about he may have some influence with the clean water and in that area, and he may have to. So we've got a lot of viable candidates. Yeah. I just know that I am exuberant and can't wait to sit on that council and listen to the taxpayers, the voting people of this island, and try to work within our realms of government. And if they don't like it, then we need to get some changes in it. There's amendments to the Constitution of the United States. We can have amendments to our comp plan too.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, before we let you go, that the folks that are having the Dune walkover invited you to their house to see the back of their area there. If you want to go, Eddie, his name is Eddie Root. He's watching the show now, and he said you said you were a good listener, so he invited you down. And my email address is justshine, JUSTSHINE @hotmail.com. Awesome. And my phone number is 270-860-4972, and I would definitely listen to them. Well, we appreciate you coming on for the second time. Good luck in the race. You're a super guy, and you're a good sport too to put up with me. And thank you so much. And we'll see you soon, right?
Thank you,
Ed. All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And you have a great